Hola from the west side. It is me, DC the Purple Diva. Welcome to Not So Random Chat. Happy Friday and happy Valentine's Day to those who actually celebrate it. I hope everyone has had a wonderful day. I had a great day, and I'm feeding the men folk right now while I talking to y'all. Yeah, they having a little steak and baked potato. That's why you hear my son singing. He sings when he eats. Hey, Miss Mahogany. How are you? Hope you had a good V-Day with your king. I know you did. It was interesting, I spoke about, Valentine's Day last night. And then today, DOD put out something. I think it was early today, because he put out a few videos, but he put out one today about, I guess they celebrate Valentine's Day in Ghana, and he was really disappointed with them, celebrating, I guess, this Western holiday. And as I told you guys, yesterday, it's really, started out with a pagan holiday and then just went from there. I don't know why this thing is acting like this. I'm going to take it off. My mobile app is doing what it wants to do right now. So I'm switching my phone from the mobile app. Retry again. It's telling me I have no internet. See, there's my internet. Telling you now the mobile app's acting right. But I really wanted to talk a little bit about love today, seeing as really love is something that we should be expressing all the time. Shouldn't be waiting around for some day like Valentine's Day. But I don't want to just talk about, obviously, the erotic type of love that you have for someone, who you are in love with, but you also have, the phileo, you've got the agape, which is godly type of love, brotherly love. And then, the love that you would have for a child of your own. Hey, AKA James. So, there's so many different types of love that are in the world. And there are many people that may not feel like they are loved. And this day doesn't really help them, a lot. Because sometimes, people look at the negative in regards to it. Let me drink a little water because it sounds, my voice is froggy. Okay, so I'm a little bit better. Just feels like I have a frog in my throat. I do a lot of blaming on the Western world. But here's the thing. Now, I also saw other, things that would talk about, how in African countries that, that that men are very, very romantic, and they don't necessarily need, the Valentine's Day thing, you know. So it's kind of a mixed bag over in Africa in regards to it. But here's the thing: if you are a loving person and really celebrating love, you don't really need just one day to do it. And I'm not a hater of Valentine's Day. You know, whether I'm in a relationship or not in a relationship, I don't get sad about Valentine's Day. I never was one of those ones who would be boo-hooing about it, you know, um, because it's a man-made holiday. It means nothing in the real scheme of things. But when you think about the love that that a person has for their brother or their sister, that's a different type of love. Whereas, it's similar to the love that you have maybe for a friend, but it's family love. So you like love this person even when you don't like them. And I know most of us can feel that when it comes to our siblings. If we are fortunate enough to have siblings, because, some people are only children, so they don't have any siblings. I'm not one of them. I do have a younger brother and a younger sister. And, there's times when I haven't liked my siblings, and I'm sure they haven't liked me, but I still love them because, you don't choose the family that you're born into. You don't get to choose your siblings, just like you don't get to choose your mother or your father. But it's I think that with siblings, as you become adults, I think that eventually you begin, hopefully, to become friends with siblings. So then you also have a brotherly or sisterly love for them, from the friendship type, because you would hope that siblings, grow closer as they get older. That's not always the case, but you would hope that, that you guys are friends. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to hang out with your siblings all the time, because I don't hang out with mine. I mean, I'm a lot older than mine, as a matter of fact. So it really wouldn't make, but we do hang out, every once in a while, Hey, Terry. So, that's one type of love. We also have, the love that you have for a parent, for your mother or your father. And, I think when you're thinking about the love that you have for a parent versus the love that you have for your child, I think those are types of love that are hard for you to measure, because, my mom, rest in peace, is no longer here, but I still love her, even though she's gone, to glory. My dad, as I told you guys he would, called me today to wish me happy Valentine's Day. Yes, y'all. I am definitely a daddy's girl. So, and that always makes me smile, with my dad doing that, because really what he's doing is, setting the standard. Like the stuff he does for me, or the things that he does for me, because I'm his daughter. I'm also his oldest. And, I appreciate those things. And I love, I love doing things for my dad, you know, and I love the relationship that he and I have. It's, you know, the love that we have now as me being an adult child is very, very different from the love that I had for him when I was a kid. Because when I was a kid, it was pretty much hero worshiping love, you know, and a lot of us kind of hero worship our parents, you know, so to speak, as children. You know, that's the type of love that we, you know, have for them, because they're always there in our eyes. You know, they can do no wrong, you know. And then once we are adults, you know, we still have massive love for our parents, but it matures. And at some point, even though they're your parent, you have a different type of relationship. Like, I know my relationship with my mom and with my dad, but more so with my mom as she got older. It, you know, I mean, my mom became my best friend. You know, she was like the person I would talk to about anything. And, you know, most of us know that we go through stages in our life where we will tell our parents anything, and when we will tell our parents nothing. And I think that talks about the way the love is expressed as you get older. With a parent is different than it was expressed when you were a child. I hope everybody's enjoying, you know, just me just kind of just first starting this off talking about different types of love. You know, I'll get to the man, woman, or, you know, couples type of love, you know, be it 2 men, 2 women, or, you know, different sex, you know, heterosexual. Then I like to think about like the love that we have for our kids. Most of us who have most of us, you know, have you know, the love that we have for our kids is like most of us would die for our children. You know, would you know, stand in front of something for our kids. And I'll say this all the way up until they're adults. Obviously, once they're adults, most of them can protect themselves, you know. But, you know, as a mom, I've always been like a lion in my protectiveness, and I've kind of been a helicopter parent in the way that I have, you know, been about my child. And maybe that's because of him being, you know, someone who was on the spectrum, you know. But I think a lot of parents are very, very hands-on, especially in this day and age. You have to be, you know. So the way that we love our kids is, you know, probably different than the way that our parents, you know, express their love for us, because different generations, you know, do things different ways. But it's very, very interesting that in loving our kids, many of us, whether we want to admit it or not, learn a lot of our parenting styles and our ways of expressing our love to our children from whoever it was that raised us. So, you know, if your parents were the type that were not affectionate or didn't show open displays of affection, then you may be like that as well. Now, in my family, my parents were kind of in the middle. You know what I mean? So they weren't like all over each other all the time, but you know that they liked each other a lot. And so but how you see things going on, how you see your parents treat each other, and how you see them treat you really kind of goes into the dynamics of how you're going to be with your own children. Because even though there may have been things that I did not like about how my parents did certain things with me growing up, it's like, so I'll hear myself say some of the same things in the same ways to my son. And it's like, oh my God, I'm a mom now. But it's that mom love. Hey, Darren. It's that mom love, And then, we'll talk about the romantic type of love, which is expressed differently by different people. Because, some people are PDA, folk. Other people are not. In how they express their love, and here's the thing. What is romantic to one person may not be romantic to somebody else. Like one person may think that romance is, cooking, a meal. Another person may think that romance is, getting some flowers and some candy, or, a card, or, a handmade gift. There's all kinds of things that can be expressions, of love. And there's also, when you're talking about romantic type of love, it's not just the physical, because it's also the mental. Because in most situations, unless we're just talking about lust, you've got to capture a person's mind before, you're going to get the body. Hey, just chilling. It is still Friday where I am. It is. It's only 10 something here. But I'll let all the young folk be out there, killing themselves, doing all that stuff. Chill. It was a chill evening around these parts. I put on a cute dress though, that's red. But I'm not into the like going out to dinner and stuff. I'm into like more intimate kind of things. That's more romantic to me. But for me, a romantic love. Yeah, I gotta. The mind has definitely got to be involved in it. If you're talking about something that's going to last, because physical is nice, it's great, but there's got to be more. There's got to be more than physical. Especially, I'll say, after you get out of your 20s. Now, in your 20s, physical all day long. That's all I need. That's all I need. That's all I needed. But when you get older and you're looking for romantic love, even if you're not talking about getting married, and I'm definitely a proponent for marriage, but that may not be what everybody's into. But even if it's not, you're not necessarily looking for marriage, you definitely want to have mental stimulation as part of the love. Because, if it's just beauty or just physical, lustful relationships are great for a minute. Hey, Sunday. Oh, if people want to go out, yeah. Well, let's see. Like when I was younger, I did all the Valentine's Day stuff, going out to dinner and, that kind of stuff. But y'all know I'm 57. And I'm not old by any means. I just don't want to be, I'm not all up into all the commercialization of it, and I don't know. Sometimes I feel like Valentine's Day is really for single folk. People who are not in dating someone or, because all that, people expecting all of these extravagant gifts and everything on that one day, it's a little crazy for me. Yeah, intellectual stimulation, exactly. Have something to say. Have something to say, because I don't know. I'm like, y'all know I'm like a smart girl and everything, and it's like you don't have to be book smart like me, but you can still be able to carry on a really good conversation and keep my interest, because everybody knows something about something. Yeah, because literally when you think about love, a lot of times, and I'll just say this is with ladies, with women, if you can get them mentally stimulated and mentally attracted to you, gentlemen, the physical is a given, and I don't know if it's true. I know they always say that women decide whether they're going to, how far they're going to go with you as soon as they meet you. I don't know. Maybe not. I can't even say that that's necessarily true all the time. Sometimes it's true, not always. But, most of us are looking for more than a fine man. Don't get me wrong, we want him to be fine, in our eyes, because, everybody's taste is different. But, he's got to have some conversation, and of course that comes, with living life, because you don't expect a young man to have a whole bunch of intellectual conversation and be able to do a lot of intellectual stimulating. He's still worried about game, and how fast he's going to bed a conquest. So, you give it an abundance. And you know what, Terry? That's very attractive to a lot of women. I don't know what's wrong with those women up in Northern California. They own some other stuff, I guess. It's just crazy to me, But, when people say you can't help who you love who you love. Okay, let me tell you something. You can help loving somebody. You can help them. I'll put it like this. You might not be able to help how you feel about them, but you can sure help being around the person. Because if a person is toxic and they're not giving you the right type of love, like a real love where it's both people are giving and it's receiving, yeah, you can figure out a way to get out of that. No one wants to be in a toxic type of situation. But yeah, not tear those women up there on some other stuff. And you're not the first guy that's told me that about the women up there. You're not the first guy that's told me that. So they're on some other stuff. But I'm not going to sit here and vouch for these ones down here. Because, I don't know. Southern California women, and y'all know I'm not from here. I'm not from here. But, some of the women here, and I'm going to be speaking about Black women because that's pretty much what I know. Can't really speak for a lot of the women who are not of color because I don't have those kind of conversations with them. Those that I know that are not of color, I don't have those deep type of conversations, or make those observations in regards to them. But yeah, I think they be on some other stuff sometimes down here too, I think they be on some other stuff down here sometimes too. They want a street man. They want somebody who's more street. Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe they think that a guy that is street will make them feel more secure, because really a woman is looking for a man to make her feel secure. And feeling secure comes in different things. It's not always financial security that a woman is looking for, And if they're talking about, they just think the thug. They want a thug type. But I'm like, when you at a certain age, you can't be doing with the thuggy type thing, I'm like, come on, women in their 40s still thinking they gonna get a thuggy thug man. I mean, he ain't if he's still thuggy thug in his 40s.
If you got gray hair, you still throwing up gang signs. Shame on you.
Something's wrong.
I feel for you. Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan.
I'm like, what they looking for? A pimp daddy?
Yeah, nigga, I need streets.
I'm going to digital pit boss home in March from that's so crazy though, Terry. I'm like, when you get to a certain age, okay, let me just say this. You know, a lot of girls when they're young, they into the street guy, they think it's cute and everything, you know, but a lot of those guys who are like, you know, street, you know, they don't end up getting good jobs, or they end up going to jail, or they die. So if you're still into that as a woman of a in her, I'm gonna say late 30s to on up, something's wrong with you, lady. Something wrong with her. And that's what she's still looking. She's still looking for that. She's still chasing her youth.
What side?
You know.
Bang, bang.
I'm like, you know, that's only cute in your 20s. It's only cute in your 20s. You know, and then you get some sense. And hopefully so do the guys. And they know that you can't survive on the streets. You know, at some point you know, you gotta grow up. You know, get in a relationship, have kids, hopefully get married, you know, that kind of stuff. But if they looking for a street dude, they not looking to get married. Because the street dude ain't trying to get married. You know, he married to the streets. I'm like, you know, just think about it. Guys who hang in the streets, they not still hanging in the streets in their 40s. That ship has sailed. Because if they in their 40s, they in jail by now. If they kept hanging out in them streets. Like attract like. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Because I'm not a street girl. So, you know, I mean, I grew up in the inner city, but my parents moved to the suburbs by the time I was in high school. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I had my little boyfriends and stuff. Back then, there were street guys and everything. But as an adult, you know, if I dated somebody who was a street guy, he was dating me because he was trying to get out of the streets. He wasn't trying to be, you know, trying to be in all of that stuff no more by that point. Most guys by their mid-20s, if they were really street guys, they trying to get out of the streets. So I don't know who these women are looking for. You know, unless they just mean, you know, I mean, they mean a dude that's willing to get into a fight or willing or is packing. You know, you can't tell that by just looking at a guy or having a conversation with a guy. You don't know those things unless that situation comes up. Because just because a guy looks like he'll, you know, be that kind of dude doesn't mean he will be that kind of dude. So I'm a little confused as to what those women are looking for. Wow, just chilling. I'm like, because I'm like, at a certain point, that's not cute. You know, you got the corporate job, but your dude is a street dude. Like, really? All right. You know, I guess. You know, but see, I personally think it's because they think that those type of dudes will be, I don't know. Maybe they think that those dudes are alpha males. I don't see that as being an alpha male. I don't see, that as being an alpha male. Because they generally run in groups. They ain't usually just out there by themselves. You know what I mean? So I don't see those type of dudes as no alphas anyway. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, those chicks up in that area are just, and that's so weird. That is just so weird. I mean, sure, there are brothers that are, still hanging in them streets and stuff when they're in their 40s and stuff, but we talking about, the local pharmacists and whatnot. You know what I mean? Or or someone who's into criminal activities. And it's like, do you really want to be with that kind of man who who's living that kind of life at that age? Like, whoo, some choices to be making. That's a crazy choice. Oh, they pick me. Yeah, well, I don't know. Can't be a pick me. Can't be like that. And maybe it's different for me because, I'm not out there like trying to go have a baby, and, I'm at the whole other end of the spectrum. And so different kind of situation for me, but that's crazy. So then they just don't have high standards, or they have no standards. That's no standards to me. Yeah, I know, Terry, but you would hope that women, more mature women, were more selective as well. That's not very selective to me. That's narrowing your field to what? The lowest part of the totem pole. You know what I mean? Because, okay, I mean, if they're talking about a guy who was in the streets when he was younger and still has that street mentality inside of him, but that's not who he is, that's different. But it sounds like they want somebody who's still into that life, which is just crazy to me. I guess I would be, because it's not that serious, But then again, like I said, my biological clock is not ticking. It stopped.
Stop. Hammer time.
It stopped. We ain't got to worry about that no more. You know, and I'm cool with that. You know, but I guess, you know, they want to have a baby, so they gonna find the dude that's gonna have a baby with them. Again, I guess it don't matter if he got 6, 7 other babies somewhere else. I'm sorry. DC needs to behave. Oh man. I guess, you know, I don't know. I've never been the type that was running after a bunch of different, you know, running after men just to have a man. I'm seeing what Just Chillin' said. Being an uncle made you realize you weren't daddy material, Just chilling. Well, you know, that's, you know, the thing is, everybody's not meant to be a father and everybody's not meant to be a mother. You know, and for some people, that's fine. I only have one. I'm cool with the one I have. I really, really am. Because he's grown. And even though he's not God, he's grown. And grown makes it a little bit easier, you know? Because even though I may have to steer him to do certain things, he can do a lot of things himself, you know, even with autism. You know, sometimes he tries to use the autism to play me, you know, but it doesn't work. But I guess I just don't understand that mentality. But I guess, you know, when I was in my childbearing years, I was married or in a relationship. So, yeah. It did, you know. And I guess a lot of them, if they don't have a child, they're like flipping out. And I guess that's what the issue is, you know. A lot of these women, if they're freaking out, thinking they'll never have a family. But that's because you're busy doing something else when you were younger. So now you're looking for a certain type of dude because you know he'll give you a kid. I don't know why anybody would shame you about that. Just chilling. You know, because I tell people, I said, being a parent is not for everybody. You cannot give kids back. And they do not go away at age 18. So if you do not want to be a parent, don't become one. You know? And don't let anybody be shaming you into having kids when that's not what you feel that you should be doing. And see, that's a choice. But you know what? There's women out there that don't want to have kids. You know? And that'll probably be the right kind of mate for you. Because not everybody's out there trying to have kids. It was so funny because, like, with me And when I was younger, people thought because I hadn't had a child by the time I was 30 that I didn't want kids. And I'm like, I had literally just gotten married like 2 years before that. But they thought I should have, like, as soon as I got married, popped out a baby. And then I had my son and shut everybody else, shut them up about, whether I wanted to be a mom. Of course I wanted to be a mom, but apparently people think getting pregnant is a real easy thing to do. No, it's not. Not if you're trying to get pregnant. It just happens when it happens. But that's not even, I mean, I know quite a few guys that don't have kids. They haven't gotten, and one of them is like, he's almost got married, but he didn't get married. And he's in his 40s and he's like, he said, I'm cool if I don't have any kids. I'm cool. He said, if I get married and she already has kids, that's great. But he's good one way or the other. Yeah, and that's the thing. But not every woman wants kids either, just chilling. And I mean, the women who don't want to have kids, people try to shame them about not having kids. Like, everybody doesn't want to do it. I thought I wanted 5 kids. I did want 5 kids. But I got a divorce and I wasn't going to have no more kids and not be married. So therefore, I have 1 child and I'm good with it. Because obviously I was not supposed to have 5 children. Because this 1 child, who is almost 25, felt like he was multiple children, because of the issues that he had growing up. And it was at a certain point, when he was like at a certain age, when I still could have had kids, I decided, I don't need no more kids. Not with him. It was like, I think when he was like about 11, I decided, yep, no more children. And from that point on, I stayed away from guys who wanted to have a kid because I did not want anybody trying to impregnate me. Yeah, that's what I'm figuring out in Terry. They just must be trippy up in Northern California. And I don't know why some people I don't know why, but older women, we have a reputation of being bitter. And even though I don't think can feel like I'm older, I know that I really am considered older. Heck, in 3 years I'll be 60. But a lot of women in my age range, if they were married and now they're not married and they've been, they may have gone through a divorce, or they were in a long-term relationship and now they're not in that relationship and now they're single, and they're in their, late 40s, their 50s, and the dating pool is not the same. I know from personal experience when you get up into a certain age range. And maybe some of these women are bitter because a lot of the men our age may not be picking them because some women in my age range look like they're women in my age range. They look like, like our moms did when they were in their 50s. And no shade, but you shouldn't look like your mama looked when she was in her 50s. I'ma just say it. I don't look like my mama did when she was in her 50s. I don't look like my grandmother looked when she was in her 50s. And so maybe it's they don't keep themselves together, and so they have a harder, time getting a man. I don't know. That's a thought, And see, I was in my early 30s when I had my son. I was in my early 30s when I had my son. But he was 18 by the time I was 50. So, and he's in his mid 20s, So, to me personally, having a kid after like your early 30s or mid 30s, it's like you're going to be older when they become adults, and you'll be older when they're teenagers. And that's people don't even think about that kind of stuff. I mean, y'all think about Alec Baldwin. Doesn't he have a kid that's under the age of 2? And isn't he in his 60s? I'm just saying. But I don't think anybody should be shaming any man who chooses not to have children because he doesn't want to have children. Hey, Tutu Thing. Street dudes at 37 and up. So maybe that's who these bitter women are getting with. And then they use them. And then they're bitter. And then they're even more bitter. Because they got what they asked for. They got what they asked for. So that means they got them a dude who's gonna be sitting on, who's gonna be what? Disrespecting them and stuff. Might be putting his hands on them. But that's the type of dude they want. I don't even understand. You know what I mean? And you in your mid to late 30s into your 40s, and this is what you are aiming for because you think this is cute, This is the kind of man who what do they think that man is what, going to kiss their feet and be thankful that they're with him? Child. Madden life. I like it. Let me see what Terry's saying. Let me click that so I can push it up. Let's show what Terry just said. Okay, Terry says the culture is predominantly negative to our racial norms, but I know, but the thing is that it's so important it's so important and see, that's the thing. It's like when they implemented the welfare system, they destroyed the Black family and in essence destroyed Black love. You know? Because a lot of these females now, you know, they figure they don't need the guy, they can do this, you know. I mean, for so many years. Okay, now, I mean, you guys remember the movie, was it Claudine? Was real. That was how it really was. She would have her man, you know, but he couldn't afford to take care of all them kids she had, and she was on welfare. So when the welfare people came around, he had to hide and act like he wasn't there, or they would take away her welfare. Y'all remember that? Yep, I see what you're saying, Miss Mahogany. David went upstairs to thing. He was down here earlier. He ate and then he left. He ate, sang while hummed the whole time he was eating, and then he got up and left. Uh-oh, he heard me. He's coming back. He's coming back. He's coming back. He's making a liar out of me. Miss Pamela asked about you. Say hi.
Hi.
He said hi, Miss Pamela. No worries, no worries. Yeah, we coming up to like around the end of the hour, you know, and although I would normally stay on here later on a Friday night, you guys, I ain't gonna do that tonight. Tonight I'm a you know, keep it to a little hour. I'm a, you know, come on camera for a minute so you guys can see me. And then I'm a bounce. And I'll be back on tomorrow or tonight for those of you who are on the East Coast. Because I have rehearsal tomorrow for the play. So I got to get my beauty sleep tonight. And, you know, I got to pay attention to, you know, my king. So I can't stay online all night long with y'all. Although I might want to. Oh, didn't swirl as well. Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, my experience with men of other races was limited to 2 dates. He got 2 coffee dates out of me. And he was weird to me. And he had a weird issue because he was stuck swirling. He had no choice because he had 2 black sons. Not my problem. He was messed up because somebody had swirled with him so they could have some pretty babies, Bob. And he was stuck in the black zone. But I prefer black men. I prefer black men. I prefer black men. All shades, from the lightest light to the deepest chocolate. As long as they're a black man. And age appropriate, of course. Let me stress that part. Age appropriate. Age appropriate. Yeah, I don't do little boys. Can't do it. You know, we're gonna leave the youngins to people like you know who. All right, let me see if I can come on so you guys can see me. There I am. All right, you guys see me? See my little red? See my red dress with my shoulder out? Shoulder out. So thank you guys for coming tonight. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Happy Valentine's Day to those who it's still Valentine's Day for. And I will be back on tomorrow. What did you say? Yep, your king. My king is black too. My little king is black too. My son is black. So, you know, I can't, you know, what am I going to do? I have a black son. So why would I bring someone who's not anyway? Y'all understand. Y'all feel where I'm coming from on that? But I want to say to you guys, until the next time, peace. And I always do it. Okay. Yeah, if I come back this far, y'all can see it. Peace and blessings from the West Side. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank y'all for hanging out with a sister tonight in my not so random chat. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Cheers, y'all. I'm up here drinking club soda. Love you guys too. I'm out. Bye, everybody.